Today I'm reviewing the Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema 4K. I've had the opportunity to borrow this camera and I've been really impressed with it. And I really wanted to share my views with you on it, let you know who I think this camera is for, who it might not be for, that kind of thing. So I want to just jump right into it. First, let you know the things I love about this camera. I love the high quality images that you can get. That is what Blackmagic to me is in a camera company. They're the company that focuses on getting the highest quality images and at an affordable price. This camera comes out and it's an incredible price for the value that you get, for the quality that you can get out of the camera. They've got the DaVinci Resolve software that is incredible because you can do so much with the free version. You get one of these cameras, you can get the studio version and do everything with that software. So like I said, this is geared towards getting the greatest quality images you really can. Outside of renting an Airy or one of the high-end ridiculous red cameras, this does it on a more budget-friendly scale. And I've always appreciated Blackmagic for it. I've always appreciated the ability to capture these great images. They have great color science. These cameras that they've always been coming out with, the Ursa Minis, they've always had great dynamic range. This camera here has 13 stops of dynamic range. It's wild for me to be able to shoot with that wide of a dynamic range. You can shoot in B-RAW. Now you have this ultra-wide color landscape to shoot with. You can shoot in this cinema flat setting and have this complete wide latitude to process the image, to boost colors here, lower them there, sharpen, de-sharpen, noise. You can clean up the noise. You can do that in DaVinci Resolve. Do all these incredible things. And it's all geared towards getting this beautiful cinema image. And altogether, that to me is who this camera's for, is that cinema shooter. You want that beautiful image. You want to be very cinematic in the types of content you're making. In contrast, I don't think this camera is good for the documentary type, the run and gun type, the guerrilla, the YouTube shooter. Even if you are a high-end YouTube shooter, I think there's other cameras that in and of themselves, they are very capable and can give you great images. But this camera gives you even better images, but it lacks in other departments, such as the battery life. Anybody that reviews these cameras, that's probably the first thing that they talk about as a drawback, the battery life. Not great. The stabilization within the camera, it's kind of shaky at times, not great. The autofocus, to my testing so far, pretty horrendous. It's one touch. You touch it once, it hunts, okay, it locks its focus in. The subject moves, you move, that person's out of focus. You have to punch it in again, it hunts again, focuses. It's very clunky. There's DSLRs that can do that a lot better. There's, the battery life, the focus, the media. As compared to the 6K, this does better on your media files, the size of your files. But still, it's a lot. If you're shooting at these high resolutions, high frame rates, you can eat up a lot of data. So you're probably going to get an external hard drive. Also, with the screen that doesn't adjust or move, you're probably going to want an external monitor. So all these things kind of bog you down. You got to get a cage and add all those items that I just mentioned. Your hard drive, your big battery, your monitor, some rails so you can have a follow focus on. So you can have a focus puller. So it makes for a production, in the truest sense of the term. It's a production. You've got a team using this camera. It's not just you, the one-man band type. If you are that type, I would say you're still a DSLR. You're still a person that DSLR would benefit the most. Once rigged out, it kind of does become a little bit clunky to look at, I suppose, and it's more efficient to use in certain ways, but it's not as freewheeling as running around one camera in your hand. But again, back to the quality. It comes down to the quality with this camera. You get those amazing images when you have all your ducks in a row. One thing I also really like about this camera is just the ease of use for the monitor. It's got this big LCD screen. And you go to that LCD screen, it's got everything you need to punch in. Want to change your frame rate? Right at the top bar there. Hit it, change it. Add guidelines, zebras, false color. You can punch all those in. You even have custom function buttons right at the top here to toggle those on or off. Toggling on and off false color is amazing to me. I love being able to use that to get an idea of my exposure. You know, like I've mentioned before, I've been using a lot of DSLRs in the past. Those are quality, but most of the ones I've used don't have false color. The best I can do is just throw up a histogram on the screen and kind of go off that. So, you know, you've got the false color. You got the ability to use time code on here. You just plug in something that's generating time code. It automatically syncs to the camera here. You know, also with the ease of use, you can dial in your ISO, white balance, all these things. Super simple. You can do slow-mo on this camera. I'm not crazy about it. It turns out well enough, I'll say. I kind of find turning on off speed, as they call it, to get slow-mo, a little bit challenging at times because it's hard to remember sometimes. Well, what resolution do I have to be at, and what setting do I have to ensure that I can get the highest frame rate? But you know, it's a little bit of a learning curve there. I think I'll make a different video kind of going into that more. But that's another day. So not so much a drawback as a learning curve, I would say. So I don't feel qualified enough to say, yes, this is poor slow-mo or too hard to navigate of a slow-mo menu. But it's a little bit of a challenge at this time. It's got time-lapse. That's really cool. Easy to use time-lapse too. You just toggle it on, say what interval you want to take a frame at. Easy. What I mentioned, monitor options. Yes, you can have certain monitor options for your camera. You can also have different options for your external monitor, whatever's you're viewing through HDMI. Really a cool option in my opinion. You can have custom presets, so you can just punch in the certain functions that you want to use on the camera, pull them up, use them the way you want, or you know, then go to your setup or your preset function and load another one up if your situation changes. Same thing with that ease of use. You can load up and export LUTs. You know, you can create your own, load them into the camera, view them right in the camera or right through the HDMI onto the monitor. You can bake them into the images. I personally wouldn't really do that, but you can do it if you got a quick turnaround time, or you know, the client or whoever wants that footage just wants it and wants that particular color grade look right on the image. You can do it one touch on this camera. So it's got an ease of use if you're a high quality level filmmaker. So I hope this was a benefit to you. I hope this was informative to you. If you do like this content, please do me a favor and subscribe. If there's anything I may have missed, anything that is unclear to you about this camera, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to maybe make another video, kind of go more in depth, or answer any questions that you have. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.